Welcome to Underqualified and Over It. I'm your host Alice, and joining me, as always, is Cindy.
Hello.
In this podcast, we are over-opinionated and unfortunately allowed to talk. So sit back, lower your expectations, and let's get into it.
Oh man,
It's been a day.
it has been a day.
I feel like it's been a week.
Yeah, I honestly I couldn't disagree with that. This week has been absolutely messed up for me because my sleep schedule got I was staying up until 9 in the morning and I was really struggling to get like any actual like semblance of a sleep pattern. So I stayed up yesterday and did just kind of like a hard reset, went to bed at like 6 or 7, woke up at a normal time, and then when like you had like a thing that you did tonight and I was like, okay, I'll just lay down for like an hour or something while she's gone before we start recording. Bitch, I slept for like 4 hours. And so now it's midnight now.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be up till like 3 or 4 in the morning again.
Oh, fair as well. We can hang out then. Because I'm doing my reset today.
I'll love that for you.
So I'm going to stay up all night. I'm going to continue until at least 10 p.m. tomorrow evening. And then I'm going to go to sleep for 9 hours. And I'm going to get up 7 o'clock in the morning. Nice. And then my plan is to clean my kitchen, or as much as I can do. Then I'm going out at about 10 o'clock. I'm going to go do some crochet at the place that I was at tonight, our little local kind of like
hobby.
My other half, he calls it the adult daycare. Because it's just like it's like a hobby center. It's like, you know, places that do like tabletop RPGs and tabletop card playing games like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that. You go in and you do all of that, and you socialize with people that are nerdy like yourself. And so yeah, they also do knitting and crochet, and tomorrow's session is called the Bitch and Stitch. So I'm going to go and enjoy that, and then we'll come home. I'll continue finishing off cleaning the kitchen, and then I'm going to probably play some video games, do some writing, maybe do some coding, all of that sort of good stuff until 10 p.m.
Very nice. I like it a lot. Picasso. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I know that we have plans to walk down to see my father-in-law, so we'll probably do that. And I think we're gonna stop in and see our neighbor on the way as well. But yeah, like, so the Wendy's, the American chain restaurant, is not very popular over here in the UK. However, they did put one in right across the street from Asda. It's probably like an hour and a half walk from us. So we're gonna, not hour and a half is a bit much. It's probably close to like an hour and 10 minutes. It's still a decent walk.
Yeah.
So we're gonna walk down, get some Wendy's, go to Asda, meander around for a little bit, and then walk back.
Well, I mean, you'll have burnt off the carbs from the Wendy's on the way back.
That's the plan. That's the hope, anyway. And because I haven't been going to the gym either, because I overdid it on leg day and I couldn't walk. And so I was like, I haven't been to the gym in like a week. So going and doing something at least remotely active would be probably pretty good for me. So. But I was thinking about the episode from last week, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about, but we didn't get to cover, was like video game adaptations of like TV show adaptations of video games, because like I told you, I never played the Fallout games, but I watched one episode of the Fallout series and it was really, really good.
Oh my god, it was stunning. To be quite honest, apart from a certain amount of seasons of The Witcher, Fallout has been the best video game adaptation there has ever been, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, because there's so much stuff, because there's so much lore within the Fallout games, especially if you actually dive into all of like the I can't remember what they're called in the games, like the computers that are there. The terminals, that's what they're called. And you dive into all of the files within the terminals, and then you find books and things, a bit like Skyrim's books. Like, there's lore in Skyrim as well. They should do a Skyrim. No, they shouldn't. No. Skyrim would be too boring. No, they shouldn't do a Skyrim one. No, I've changed my mind. We've had two, like, Skyrim has been, like, re-released too many times for there to be one. But yeah, I absolutely adore. My worst thing that happened in the first season of Fallout. Worst? Yeah, worst.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler. It's been out a year, like 2 years.
Okay, well, it's a spoiler for me because I literally only watched the first episode.
True.
But that's fine. I'm okay with it.
Is they introduced a creature in it, and it's this massive axolotl thing, and they're called gulpers. And we've watched season 1 a couple of times, and the first time through, I noticed one thing about these gulpers, because one character's like it's trying to eat them. And I noticed that down the throat of the gulper are phalanges. There are loads of rows and rows of fingers. And I was like, oh, no, thank you. I don't like that. Thank you, no.
Yeah, that sounds like somebody who has like what is the phobia with like the holes or whatever?
Oh, trypophobia.
Yeah. So or tryptophobia. Tryptophobia.
Yeah, tryptophobia.
It's like somebody who doesn't realize they have that playing Silent Hill F.
Yeah.
And then only when they play that game they realize, oh no.
Or people who don't realize they've got thalassophobia and they start playing Subnautica. And it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah.
One of the things that I heard recently is that they're coming out with a Baldur's Gate 3 TV show. I don't know, because I love that game. That is probably the one role-playing game that I've ever played that I absolutely love. And I played that thing. I've played it so much that I am no longer fun to play with because I metagame the hell out of it. But that being said, like it's a choice-based game. The whole storyline is choice-based. It's a butterfly effect of the choices that you make change the outcomes of the game. And I'm turning it into a TV show. In my mind, it's like it would make a fantastic TV show. Don't get me wrong. I love the idea of a Baldur's Gate, any sort of creative, like I have said for, I don't know if it's been years, but I've been saying for months, I would love for people to have the ability to do like a library of creatures, like writing books and like fan fictions and things like that, but not like the Wizards of the Coast is kind of like stingy with their information, which I mean, it's fair. They did come up with it, blah, 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 whatever. But it's like, I would love to have a book based in the D&D universe where like you can bring in locations like Waterdeep. You can bring in locations like Baldur's Gate and not have to worry about all of the copyright issues that comes with doing like any sort of D&D lore.
Yeah.
But that being said, the whole point of the game was for it to be a role-playing game that changes based off of your choices. But I'm worried that if they make a TV show about it, they're basically going to erase what people have done.
Do we know who's doing it?
I haven't looked that hard into it. I've not like I've only heard about it. Like I don't know exactly who's doing what, but I don't even know if it's following the same storyline as the game. Because that's my concern, right? Is if they're following the same storyline of the game and they are, well, they're basically like, this happens and then this happens and this happens and this happens. It's like saying like, oh, this is the way you should have played the game.
So, okay, right. I am gonna go back to Fallout for a second here because Fallout, I know that you said that you've played a little bit of the Fallout games and I've played more. And I also know a lot more of the lore as well of Fallout. So, with the Fallout games, you have certain endings depending on what you do within the game. Yet again, it's sort of butterfly effect, but it's not as butterfly effecty as, like, say, Until Dawn or something like that.
I was going to say Until Dawn.
But every decision that you make affects what happens to characters within the world and all of that. And so the thing with spoiler alert, what's just happened in season 2, it's not going to be too much spoilery, but something happened within New Vegas in the game.
Okay.
That they told us when season 2 was coming out, they said, nothing is set in stone for how the game finished. But it definitely is because of how certain characters turn up.
Right, okay.
And also with the fact that they've just turned around recently and said that the Fallout series is now canon.
Oh, did they?
The Fallout TV series is canon now. And this has happened all after 4, I believe, is when the Fallout TV series is set. And I think it's because New Vegas was in between 3 and 4. Or was it 2 and 3? I don't know I can't remember when New Vegas is set.
I think it was meant to be between 3 and 4.
Yeah. And also we're bringing in stuff from like the guys that have done the TV series. They turned around and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, such and such a game isn't important. Such and such a game isn't important." Like the spin-off games. They're not important. Whereas we watched the series and we're like, no, because that's in such and such a game.
Yeah.
Or that is in number 2, or this is here in the timeline.
Right.
And then they turn around and go, oh yeah, by the way, it's all canon.
So are you saying it's kind of like what I'm worried about with Baldur's Gate is kind of what's happening with New Vegas?
No. So what's happened there is, so New Vegas, you have so many different possible endings. There's like a good ending, there's a bad ending, there's a mid ending, there's a half good, half bad ending. Because there's so many different endings, they've just kind of chosen an ending and gone, yeah, we'll roll with that one, which I'm fine with. And then because they've turned around and said, because now Bethesda are working on Fallout 5, they've said that the TV show is canon to the events that are going to happen in 5. And I'm like,
right. Okay.
So that's where it affects the games now. Whereas I don't know what Wizards of the Coast plan to do with Baldur's Gate.
Right.
Are we getting another game? I know the Larian aren't going to be doing it.
No.
Because of the whole fiasco that went down there. Because we talked about fiascos in video games in the last episode. There was a massive fiasco that happened there because the guys that helped work, that were with Wizards of the Coast, that helped make Baldur's Gate 3, I think it was just before Baldur's Gate 3 came out, or it was just after. It was like a few months before or after. The people that worked on Baldur's Gate 3 from Wizards of the Coast, that worked with Larian, were all made redundant. I believe, because that was a massive thing. Like, loads of people, or like loads of netizens were going crazy over it. And that's why Larian turned around. Well, I think it's speculated that that's why Larian have turned around and said that they didn't want to do another Baldur's Gate one because of Wizards of the Coast firing the team that helped build the game.
Yeah, Wizards of the Coast, from what I understand, and don't quote me on this is all alleged, don't come after me, I have no money, so don't attack me, but from what I understand, Wizards of the Coast is pretty notorious for being difficult to work with, and getting any sort of rights, so I don't know.
But also, that's another thing that kind of gives me hope for the TV series. Because Wizards of the Coast will be there every step of the way to make sure that it works and make sure that their intellectual property isn't getting messed over. Much like how the Dungeons and Dragons film happened. That was perfect. And I bet you that there was multiple people from Wizards of the Coast sat there behind the director, breathing down his neck or her neck. I don't know who directed it.
Me neither.
So, and I bet they were in the writer's room as well. I bet you they were in the writer's room as well, breathing down the writers' necks. And then as soon as something wasn't right, they were like, no, change that. So that's why I have hopes for it. Also, there is a good chance, because of what's going on right now on TikTok, because of the announcement of it, that we're going to have the voice actors playing their parts.
That would be really cool.
Because the lady who played Saza, the goblin, and also, I can't remember her name, the mummy lady, she played a few characters.
The mummy lady?
Have you not met the mummy lady? Oh my god. We need to finish our playthrough and I'll introduce you to the mummy lady. She's great. She also did all of her, what's it called? Mocap. Motion capture. For both Saza and the mummy. Also, the vast majority of the voice actors did their own mocap. People were commenting on the lady who plays Saza, on her TikToks, saying, oh, you do realise that voice acting is completely different to in real life acting. And she made a clap back saying, yeah. But the thing is, the vast majority of us who did the voice acting for Baldur's Gate 3 also did our motion capture. So we were in real life acting our characters.
Yeah.
And then I saw that, what's her name? The lady who plays Lae'zel. She made a TikTok as well.
Devora Wild.
So she'd made a TikTok as well, going, oh, look, Baldur's Gate 3 into a TV series. And then she put a filter on her face to make her look like Lae'zel. And she's like, it's me. It's me. It's me. I can do it. I've not seen anything from any of the others yet, but I have the feeling that Neil would be up for it because he's done acting as well. And he mocapped so many more characters in Baldur's Gate 3 as well. I think he did like half of the flipping entirety of the cast is what he was doing. And he stunning.
Really threw himself into that project.
He did. And I think it's fabulous. And I think that it'd be really good if we did have them back. Also, like I've said before, Gale of Waterdeep.
Yes.
So I have complained about this 3 times this week already, but I will complain about it now. So when I first started playing Baldur's Gate 3, I was looking out who the voice actors were for all of the characters. So I looked them up on IMDb and I was like, oh yeah, these guys are really cool. And then I'd played a little bit, and obviously I'd done the whole thing of I'm just gonna get all of the companions that I can in Act 1. And I did, including Gale, who really annoyed me in my first run because of the way he is. And just because of the way he is. And I started watching some TV shows. So I started watching Outlander, and I got to a certain point, and who the heck turns up? Gale of bloody Waterdeep. I saw his face, I was like, no! First I heard his voice, and I went, oh no, that's who I think it is. And then his face turned up on camera, and I was like, why? I'm just trying to enjoy Outlander. And then I watched, there was a TV series with the lady who is Penelope Bridgerton. Well, she's now Penelope Bridgerton. She was Penelope Featherington. And she was also in Derry Girls.
Spoiler alert.
She got married the last season.
I know.
Anyway.
I'm just kidding.
So, yeah, her. I can't remember what her name is. I can't remember names of actors a lot. But she was in a comedy show, and then he turned up as well. And I was like...
Is it Big Mood?
Yeah, The Mood. Yeah, I was watching that. And he turned up, Big Mood, and he turned up, and I was like, oh, for heaven's sake, leave me alone. Stop following me, Gale of Waterdeep. You're in everything. Yeah. Why are you in everything that I want to watch right now? So, yeah.
He's also in Good Omens. I didn't realize that.
Yes. And that's another one. I watched Good Omens and he was there. I was like, I give up. I honestly give up. Because I was just like, I'm not going to watch anything else for a little while because he's just there. I was getting haunted. Haunted by Gale of Waterdeep.
That's amazing.
But he's been in so many TV shows, he could play Gale of Waterdeep as well.
Speaking of TV shows, did you see that they're thinking of doing I saw that they were casting for a new Pride and Prejudice series.
Really? Well, I mean, the period dramas do be perioding.
Yeah,
at the minute.
They're pretty popular right now.
And
I don't know how I feel about it because some of they've done some interesting casting for it, but it's going to be a mini series, so it's going to be kind of like how like the 1995 or whatever version of Pride and Prejudice was, which in my opinion is the best Pride and Prejudice. Like the 2005 one is fine, but yeah, no, it's just like if you've read the book, you've realized that the casting of the 1995 miniseries is so much better. Like, if you've read the book.
I have read the book. I didn't enjoy it.
You didn't enjoy it?
Did not enjoy it.
Really?
But what didn't you out of all of the period, like, drama stuff, especially books, I didn't actually enjoy a lot of the English period drama stuff. I preferred the American stuff. So, like, Little Women.
Little Women's good.
And Anne of Green Gables.
Anne of Green Gables. I think Anne of Green Gables is technically Canadian.
Yes. But they did a period drama of that, and they cancelled it. And I was really annoyed because it was so good.
Did you ever watch the Anne of Green Gables like movies, like the
No.
90s movies? Those were pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I grew up on those. They maybe I don't know if they hold up or not because
Maybe.
I haven't watched them.
So
But
another thing, another series that got cancelled, which really annoyed me, was My Lady Jane.
oh, okay, yeah.
It was phenomenal. And do you know why it got cancelled?
Why?
Because it wasn't historically accurate.
Color me shocked.
But do you know what isn't also historically accurate?
Literally most of the period dramas that come out nowadays.
Well, yeah, number one, that, but also people turning into animals.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because in My Lady Jane, there's a lot of people that turn into animals.
That's very interesting.
Including,
I don't think I ever actually watched the whole series.
Including Lady Jane's husband, who she's basically forced to marry.
Well,
as you are.
Is it during the same time period as like Bridgerton and that?
No, I can't remember who was king in it. No, it's Tudor time. It's just after Henry, okay. Because obviously it's Jane Grey who became queen,
right?
For a short period of time. Yeah. So the king, what really set people off was they decided to cast a black man as the king. And they also decided that he was disabled in a wheelchair, which, to be quite honest, the king of that time was very sickly.
Yeah.
And they decided to put him in a wheelchair because he was dying of, he was getting poisoned. But the thing is, the start of My Lady Jane was, by the way, this is how history tells the story of Lady Jane Grey. Guess what? We say fuck that. So they already said that it wasn't going to be historically accurate.
I don't, I feel like if people actually made shows and series that were historically accurate in both the narration and the casting,
they'd be boring as hell.
People would throw a hissy fit.
Yeah.
They wouldn't necessarily be boring because history itself is interesting. But people would be mad because of the lack of inclusion, because up until a certain time period, the lack of inclusion was very much a real thing. And so, like, people are basically, like, with some of the casting, in my opinion, are, like, trying to rewrite history to make it more palpable.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not what it would have been like, unfortunately.
And also, the vast majority of history that's actually taught in schools, especially over here, and I know that it's in the case in America as well, the history books are written by people who want history to be told a certain way.
Yeah.
So we actually don't know if half of our history is actually true, because one person says this and another person says that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like that all across the world. If you look at like some of the ancient Chinese historical records, like the Three Kingdoms, the amount of like magic, dragon wielding stuff in the Three Kingdoms era is pretty crazy.
And also,
like, unbelievably,
you can also just look into Europe, because what did we say about Napoleon? We said that he was a teeny tiny man, but actually he was just average size. It was propaganda.
Yeah, it was like, he was like, what, 5'7"?
Yeah, something like that. And we were like, oh no, he's a dwarf. He's tiny.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And also, another thing is, Queen Victoria, for instance, we were like, oh, she was beautiful, this, that, and the other. Absolutely beautiful lady. Da, 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 da. And the French were like, dude, she looks like a bulldog. How can you say that woman is beautiful? I mean, I thought she was beautiful, but that's because she was the queen. And, like, obviously, you're gonna respect her and all of that. She's our seat. She was our seat of power.
Well, and first of all, Queen Victoria, great movie. Emily Blunt did amazing with the part. Even Queen Elizabeth, when her face was falling off, literally because the mercury in the makeup that she would wear, she still had her painters like basically airbrush and edit her face on her like her like royal portraits and things like that. So people were rewriting history as history was happening.
I mean, the biggest one for doing that sort of thing was the House of Holbein.
I don't know about that.
So, Hans Holbein was a world-renowned artist who would go round and he would paint the pictures of all of the well-to-do ladies, mostly the princesses and the duchesses and blah, blah, blah. Everybody who was meant to be like, here's my portrait, marry me. They'd send it off to kings, they'd send it off to big lords, they'd send it off to whoever. And who was it? It was one of the 6 wives of Henry VIII.
It was Anne of Cleves.
Anne of Cleves, yeah. So Anne of Cleves, she got her portrait done by Hans Holbein.
Oh, really?
They then sent that portrait to Henry VIII. Henry was like, oh, yeah, do you know what? I like that. I want a bit of that. Bring her over here. So they brought her, he married her, and then he was like, you don't look like your profile picture. I got catfished. I got catfished. And that's exactly what happened. Because they would make the portrait, the painter, paint beautiful portraits of them, and then they turn up and they wouldn't be beautiful. Or they wouldn't be the standard of beauty in that era.
Yeah. That's actually honestly going back to like the Pride and Prejudice like miniseries from the 1990s. It was so well cast, especially Jane. Jane in the miniseries, she has a very prominent Roman nose, which during that time frame would have been considered incredibly beautiful. And when I was growing up watching it, I was like, ew.
Big nose.
Like everybody's talking about how beautiful she is, and like little 10-year-old me is like, ew, no. But now as I've gotten older, I realize like the implications of that and what it would have actually been like back then. And I'm just like, oh, they did an amazing job casting her, because it's just like, yeah, that's exactly what they would have been taken by. Would have been like her fair skin, her blonde hair, her prominent nose. Like it was like she was like the pinnacle of beauty during that era, and she was just so wonderfully cast. I forget the name of the actress. Hold on.
So I'm gonna go off a little tangent while you're finding that. So I don't like Pride and Prejudice, but I have a favorite rendition of it, a favorite version of it, and it's a comedy.
Oh God!
It's a little mini series called Lost in Austin, and I love it so much. So it's about a girl who is so obsessed with Pride and Prejudice that she's read it multiple times, and she's having problems with her boyfriend, and she wishes that he was Mr. Darcy, this, that, and the other. And then the panel behind her bath in her bathroom opens up, and who steps out? But Jane herself. Not Jane.
What?
Who's the main character in Pride and Prejudice?
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth. Yeah, that's it. Elizabeth comes out, and they swap places. And the panel in her bathroom is a portal to Pride and Prejudice.
Okay.
And she goes, and she's like, oh yes, I'm a friend of Elizabeth. And she's gone somewhere to visit. And it's all about her taking Jane's place. Not Jane, Elizabeth's place.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It's so good. We'll have to watch it sometime. It's very good. I enjoy it. It's very funny. That is my favorite version.
The actress's name is Susanna Harker. This is literally like Pride and Prejudice is like the only thing I know her from.
Right.
But yeah, no, she has like a butt chin, like a chin, which again is another thing That's just like her nose isn't as prominent as I remember. I think I was getting her nose and her chin confused with somebody else. But yeah, no, it just is. I enjoy Pride and Prejudice, but I also enjoy classic literature. Like when I would go, when I was in the military, I worked in the prisons, and I would bring, because you can't have like your phone or anything with you, so I would bring in books, and I would sit there and I would read like Shakespeare and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes and things like that. And Sherlock Holmes, like my sister at one point was asking me, she was like, how can I get like a bigger vocabulary? And I was like, read.
Read.
Read. And she's like, what should I read? And I was like, well, I'm in the process of reading Sherlock Holmes. And she's like, yeah, it's a little bit wordy. And it's like, once you get into it, once you learn how to read it, because it is a different type, like it's an older version of English than what we're used to. Once you start learning how to understand it, oh my God, is Sherlock Holmes hilarious. It is like, it's, and like, while we're talking about like period dramas, modern day renditions of things, there has not been a better Sherlock Holmes, in my opinion, than Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I loved that so much.
I feel like somebody in that production read Sherlock Holmes and went, oh, it's autism.
It's autism, yeah. It literally.
They went, oh, it's autism. Do it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Honestly, I've never watched a program and felt more seen as a neurodivergent person as I did when I watched Sherlock.
Yeah. It is very neurodivergent coded.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is like, that's the way that Sherlock is written. Like, that is exactly the way that he is written, where he's just kind of doing his own thing. I think that it comes across, at least when I was reading it, he came across a little bit more sarcastic than know-it-all, like, kind of hyperfixation. But I think that the way that Benedict Cumberbatch, like, portrayed him being, like, more neurodivergent, I think that was really, really well done.
It was so good.
And how he basically was like, your leg's not broken. You haven't been thinking about it. You've been running for the past however long. So I think you should kind of get over that. And it's just like, this is something that Sherlock would do in the books. But also at the same time, it would be more of like a ha, told you, rather than an observation kind of thing.
And also, I love who they casted as Moriarty as well.
Yeah, Moriarty was really good. Even Dr. Watson was really, really well cast. Like I just think like the whole series. The Lady in Red.
No, the other bloke, Sherlock's brother.
The
way they casted that was, oh yeah, I love him. I love him in anything anyway because he's a stunning actor. But yeah, the fact that they had him.
Mycroft,
that's it, yes. The casting was just chef's kiss. It was fantastic. And to be quite honest, I feel like when they stopped making stuff like Sherlock and Merlin, for example, another period drama, but in a different period because it was the medieval period, I feel like when they stopped making the stuff like that is when the BBC stopped being good.
Yeah, I mean, when did they start charging people to watch TV in their own homes here in the UK?
Like I don't know, when did the TV license start? Because I hate the TV license. I think it's stupid. And it's literally only because the BBC doesn't do commercials.
1946.
1946. Yes. Yeah. And I think it's appalling. I think it's appalling.
It's ridiculous. And the fact that it's been there since 1946 and people still haven't been like, oh, here's a television that cannot receive outside, like, because that's the thing. You would think of like, oh, because it's the thing, right? If you have a TV in your home, regardless of whether you watch like the BBC or any like internationally or nationally broadcast like channels, you are meant to pay a TV license. The thing is, it's like 9.5 times out of 10, anybody that I talk to, all they're watching is Netflix or like their streaming services that they already pay for.
Yeah.
Nobody watches the broadcast networks.
Yeah. And they pay for that streaming service, which then that streaming service pays for the broadcasting rights of the programs that are going onto it.
So they're double dipping. They're basically saying this will pay for the broadcast, but also at the same time you have to pay a TV license for the broadcast.
Yeah, so really, well, that's what they're trying to do now, because it says on the TV license website that you do not need a TV license if you don't watch the BBC, you do not watch live television, so like sports and stuff like that, and you don't watch BBC iPlayer. I don't do any of that. But now, because some BBC channels are on Netflix, bearing in mind what I've just said, you pay a certain amount of money every month for Netflix, and Netflix uses that money to then pay for the rights to distribute the programs that they put on Netflix. Right?
Right.
And they're also trying to do it with YouTube as well.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which I think is absolutely disgusting, because nobody's paying them for their TV licenses. Literally, the only people...
Yeah, because why would you?
Yeah, exactly. Because...
like, that's my thing, is like, if you're going to charge all of this stuff for all of these like broadcast things that nobody watches, because nobody watches the BBC, because nobody can trust the BBC because of how many times they've been caught with their pants down lying.
Okay, I just ran downstairs because we received this through the post.
Oh, yeah? Lovely.
And I'm going to read it to you. It's dated the 11th of February 2026. And it's from TV licensing. Action required. In big red letters. In big black letters. Act now to avoid a fine of up to £1,000. Dear legal occupier, we're now proceeding with the final stages of our investigation, as your address is still not licensed. You can expect a visit from an enforcing officer. They can visit any day of the week, morning, afternoon, or evening. Buy a TV license, or declare no license needed to stop our investigation. I've already told them that we don't need a TV license, because we don't watch TV. We play video games, and that's basically all we do in this household.
Right.
It says, buy a TV license now. Simply scan the QR code, blah, 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 blah. Tell us you don't need a TV license. A TV license covers you for all TV channels, live TV, on streaming services, and BBC iPlayer. If you don't watch TV in any way, please let us know. An officer could still visit to check if you're watching TV illegally. If you do nothing, an officer is scheduled to visit your address. If the officer finds you've been watching TV illegally, you could be interviewed under caution in accordance to the national criminal law, which could lead to prosecution. You may have to pay a fine up to £1,000 plus any legal costs or compensation. Enforcement officer, such and such. And it looks like it's been written, but it hasn't, it's been printed. Date, February 2026. And then it has an asterisk at the bottom. In Scotland, Scottish criminal law applies. A report will be sent to the prosecutor fiscal, who will decide prosecution. So yeah.
Honestly, we should take a picture of that and like post it, like show, like just like put it on the screen for people who are watching on YouTube.
Well, we'd have to redact it because it has my address on it.
Yeah. But like, it's just one of those things where it's like, they make the assumption that anybody who has anybody who's living in a place has to have a TV.
Yeah.
Anybody who has a TV, because I've seen videos of people being sent that exact same letter and they don't even own a television. And they're like, we don't even have a TV. So I don't know why they're coming after me. It's like, oh, our investigation is coming to a close. Your investigation should have never started. It is something like the TV license thing, to me, is something that cannot be regulated because people are watching their own stuff in their own houses. You don't know who has a TV and who doesn't. You can't be regulated. And they're saying like they can show up and make sure you're not watching TV. It's like, you're not allowed to just come into my home like that. You have to have proper reason to come into my home like that. At least in the US.
So back in the day, which this spread all over, it was a lot of like propaganda. There was this thing that went round that there was the TV vans would go round and scan. They'd have a little aerial on top and they'd scan each road and see who had a TV in their house. It was all fake. There was no such thing. But yeah.
That's crazy. Because the thing is, it's like, if it's been around since the 1940s, like, you would think that this country would come up with a way to create a TV that cannot receive broadcast.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that when it's just all fear mongering. It's all like, oh, the government's going to come after you for blah, 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 whatever. And it's like, they're just hoping to get money out of people who are, because that letter, I've seen it and it looks really scary.
Oh yeah.
And that would cause most people to just be like, you know, to pay out of fear. And it's like, when you have something like that, that's just so fear driven, that rubs me the wrong way.
Also, if they do turn up at the house and knock on the door, you don't actually have to let them in your house because they don't have a warrant.
Yeah, I was going to say, so like, you would have to have a warrant in the US. Our
plan if they do turn up, we're going to open the window. Like, hello, have you got a problem? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're here about the TV license. Oh, right, don't need one. We've told you that we don't need one, but you've not listened to us. I've told them multiple times we don't need one, but they haven't noted it down. Yeah. And if they say, oh, well, we need to come in and check. Have you got a warrant? No. All right. Go to a court and process a warrant and then come back. And also, when you have that warrant, bring the police with you as well because you need them to be here to come in.
If I received a letter like that, like, luckily we don't have that issue. We haven't had any issues with the TV licensing, anything. But if they were to send that letter to me just to try and get me to pay out of fear, I'm looking through the people and I'm not letting anybody with a uniform. I'm not answering the door if somebody with a uniform is at my doorstep. Like, it's just not going to happen. Because guess what? You can call me. I have a phone. Like, we can talk about this like civilized humans. You don't actually have to just only use fear to get me to cooperate. Because guess what? I'm a law-abiding citizen. I will do what I need to do in order to follow the law. But the fact that you can follow the law and still have this letter sent to you is ridiculous. And the only reason it's still sent to people who are law-abiding citizens is because they have no way of actually regulating it.
Yeah.
It's a scam. Anyway.
It is. Anyway, we're coming to the point of the situation where we have to finish up talking, unfortunately.
I honestly don't know what we're going to call this episode because we just talked about a bunch of random shit.
We did. And I'm going to have to come up with a decent title. I'll figure one out. You know, period and TV drama.
TV drama, period.
TV drama, period. Yes, I like that. I like that. Well, we'll see. We'll see what it ends up being. This has been Underqualified and Over It.
If you made it this far, that's on you.
We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.